I'd like to please invite on stage Sachin Bandukwala of BandukSmith Studio.
Hello everyone, I'm Sachin Bandukwala from BandukSmith Studio, Ahmedabad. It's a bit of a stage. I was trying to remember Tendulkar before going for his batting and how he would listen to Kishore Kumar. I don't think I'm going to score a century here, but here I am. So, a little bit about what we do and why we've chosen this project. And it's a residence based in Ahmedabad. Our practice is we do architecture, we do a little bit of interior, we do a bunch of urban design project, and I think we call ourselves system architects, and architects who engages with materials and repairs, because we think that we are at that time where if we can repair and repurpose, there is nothing like it. It does not mean that we don't make newer buildings. We make newer buildings, but long back, when I was doing my research thesis, I came across this idea. I sort of kept talking to my professor about, I want to study incompleteness. And then he told me that, is there anything incomplete in nature? And I sort of wondered for a few days and went back and we discussed, and I said, I couldn't find it actually. And so then, it's a cycle that we're talking about, and I think we have reached that cycle of where we're sort of exhausting our resources, and we think that it would be a good idea to repurpose things. However, if we build new, can we source it responsibly? Can we process it responsibly? And the answer, according to us, lies in going slow, craft it as much as you can. So this was one of those projects where we tried to use some level of craft, some level of technology. The interesting reflection on this project is that this was built in 18 months because the client had a wedding, like a lot of cases. And we still said that we're not going to leave our ambition. And so that's how we started. I want to talk about what we proposed to them. It's a house that is, there's a garden in the center, and the house kind of built around that, and then there are gardens on the sides also. So the introduction of the family, they have one of the small-time royals from Rajasthan who sort of were living in Gujarat, and we were asked to do this house. So there's a lot of memory of the whole sort of culture is from that part of India, and we could see their affiliation towards those kind of things. But we did not want to make something that was something that would exist, in like 200 years ago. So we wanted to take what exists and take it to new level. Something that we, as I said, we like to sort of approach as a system, a building system, is because if you look at history of residential architecture, I would not say just India, across the world, until certain point, they were built as if there is some sort of transformability, you could, there are spaces, series of spaces, there are places that connect them, and there is inside and outside. And I think the fact that we can repurpose a lot of these buildings to newer functions, or changing lifestyle, changing generations, is because they had that character. And what we do, we are quite mindful of that. And so that was something that we tried to do. So this is a very, very simple diagram. It's a, there are basically series of rooms around this garden, connected by this semi-open space. And so all four corners, they are more intimate functions. So kitchen and utility in one corner, the yoga room and temple in another one, study in another one, and the massage room in another one. But otherwise, the other ones are, living areas. Um, okay. So this is in one of the plotted development, but there are a lot of nice trees, and so we made this presentation in miniature style because we truly wanted to sort of show this festivities that we can bring it to places like this. So this is the central courtyard that I was talking about. And yeah, these are the semi-open spaces that connect. Something that we have always enjoyed, and we think that we have to force a little bit is ground undulation in such a way that it keeps some level of coziness of spaces around. So we sort of debated, and this central garden is actually slightly lifted, and yeah. So this is another image of the project. Okay, so it's a very simple presentation. Those what you saw was proposed. This is completed, and okay. So this is the main space, central space. This family came to us with this idea that we are all introverted, we don't like to show off, and we want a house that looks at the nature, looks at the plants and things like that. So we said, okay, we make a house which is around a garden, and that's how it started. So you can see all the spaces are introverted, and the challenge that we took up for ourselves is that this in Ahmedabad, it gets very hot. And so we wanted to use these green spaces as sort of air cooler for the hot air. And so that's why they provide sponge effect. There is some kind of little moisture around, and nice smells and things like that. With this whole idea of making a royal house, minimally, we decided that we need to make sure that the roof shelters very well. So this is a 9-layer zinc roof, and so it shades very well. The outside wall that you see is 18-inch thick, and that practically shelters this house. These are some of the images of it. And that's the parking area. This was still like project just got finished, and we took the pictures. These are the semi-open spaces. So what I would like to talk about is also, so when I say that the outside wall is the one that protects, the inside wall, which is this wall that you can see on the left side, we wanted to make it as porous as possible, but at the same time private. And so we made it in marble. The elements of this house are very simple: covered spaces, semi-open spaces. There are these columns. Yeah. These are some more views of the house. yeah, we deliberately kept the material choices to wood, kota, stone, marble, because something that we believe is that uh, as much as possible, we don't try to use heavily processed materials. And also the way these materials can come together and weather, um, it is um, it is fun to see it going back to nature. You know, I mean, in other words, the ruins are more beautiful if you keep it simple. So that's the marble wall from outside. That's the marble wall from inside. So the idea was that we have translucent walls. So these are sandwich marble panels. That's the kitchen. Um, this is living and dining. You can see lamps from Anantaya. These are some more views of that. That's the so everything, I mean, in some sense, if I don't say that what this purpose of this room is, it could be anything, you know. Like the massage room could be study room, the study room could be massage. There are very specific things. If it is attached to bathroom, you can understand that it's massage room. But other than that, there were no sort of crazy specification. That's because we want it to become something else. These are sleeping areas. I'm going to go a little quick. These are some of the bathroom images, some more images, and this is terrace entry. Quickly, I'm going to go through the construction. The reason why I'm showing the construction because we have put together as simply as we can imagine disintegrating it. So that's the reason why it's important to see this. This is the marble wall. These are some of the uh, self-similar patterns. So you can see the ramp with the same image, same pattern that was there in the railing. So some of the landscape work going on. Thank you very much.